questions about what it was like when you lived through the eruptions. So, how long did you live in the south of the island?
All right, living in the south of the island of Montserrat, for me, it was like forever, really, because I was born in Montserrat. I grew up here. It is true that I grew up in different parts of the island, which I think was good for me based on what I did later.
Yeah.
So I know the island inside out, upside down. I am an environmentalist by nature. I love climbing the hills and going to the forest and, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So because of that sort of thing, and I've been doing that forever. So living in the south of the island, I've been there for the duration of the volcanic experience, of course, but I've been there forever.
So it's like your second hand.
It's my second hand,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
And when, of course, you started to hear about the eruptions, like how much notice did you have? You lived in the south of the island all your life.
Yes.
What notice was you given before you had to leave?
What notice were we given, or was I given? For me in particular, because I live just about 2 miles from the volcano as the crow
Very
flies,
close.
that was very close, relatively speaking. And this is the Plymouth, and the area known as Amsham. Now Amsham is in an elevated area, so you can look down on the harbor, the main city, which is Plymouth.
Yeah.
So whenever cruise lines would come in, I can see from where I am. I can.
The cruise lines use a dock there.
And they dock there regularly all the time, so I will drive down. As soon as we come in at the dock, I'll drive down. If I'm meeting anybody or if I'm conducting a tour, as the case may be.
That's a great wake-up call. Look out the window and see when the ships
Absolutely,
come in.
yeah. But then from where I live, I have 360-degree view all around that
Wow.
section of Plymouth and part of Plymouth where we were. Plymouth, as we now know, is a delta. We always knew it was a delta. Those of us who are perpetual students of geography, we know that deltas are formed at the mouth of rivers, as they bring the material down, going out to the sea, etc., etc. But for real, we only found that out for real after the volcano started, July 18, 1995. Now that was 2 years. That was 2 years before
Wow.
the main part of the volcanic activity happened. All right. I was in my home. I'm always involved with children. I taught dance and costuming and that sort of stuff. So the children would always come over to my house, and I'll make sure they do their homework because I've been an educator all my life, really. So they'll come to and because I had a cuckoo clock which I got in Germany, and it is one of those clocks where on the quarter to the hour, quarter after the hour, half hour, and on the hour, the little door will open, the cook will come out and say cuckoo,
We used to have one.
and the children love that, of course. And so they told all the children in the neighborhood. So my house was practically filled with children every afternoon on weekends, So one of the child came over and said, Rose, don't you know? They said the volcano it's erupting. I'm like, get out of here, go and do your homework. Treating it very casually because I just finished working that afternoon, you see? And he said, yes, Rose, you don't hear the sound? And then I listened. And as I listened, I realized I lived just a short way from the American University of the Caribbean. This was the university for medical students, and it was owned by a U.S. citizen, all right? And so students from all over the world studied there, did medicine there, and they're just up the road from me. So I'll see them going back and forth, professors, students, everybody.
Yes.
So I thought it was just ordinary traffic going up and down the main road. And then I listened, and I thought I heard a static sound, a sound in one position, not moving at all. And I'm like, why is that aircraft just hovering there, just over the mountains? What's going to my head? So when the child said to me, Rose, they said the volcano is blowing. And I really paid attention. I realized, but hell yes, that sound was there all the time, and I gave it no second thought.
It was just normal to you.
It was just normal, you see.
Gosh.
So then I called the radio station because I managed the radio station. I said to them, everybody, I've just heard that the volcano is erupting. You know what you normally do, record everything that the officials would come to the station to talk about whatever is happening. And so the governor would come, the chief minister then, he's now called the premier, they came and said, so said in the newsroom, you know what you have to do, record everything, which they did, of course. And I said, I'll be down. All right? Because as manager of the station, of course, I've got to be there if something like that is happening.
Yeah, it's quite important.
You see what I'm saying? So I got myself together and I said, okay, Wheelock, I always refer to myself in the third person when I'm making plans subconsciously. I said, okay, Wheelock, you finish your working day. Now your working day has begun. So I took my car out, drove to the station. When I got to the station, the governor was there. Now, the governor is the Queen's representative on Montserrat. Okay?
One moment. Because this one does 5 minutes. Okay, so...
All right. So the governor is the Queen's representative on Montserrat. and he's in charge of security. So something like that, of course, he'll have to let the nation know what was going on. And the chief minister, being head of the government, a political appointee, a political elected position, so they both came to the radio station, and the commissioner of police, they all came to the radio station.
Were you quite scared when you saw all these
No, there was nothing scary about it, not for me anyway, because remember, I'm a perpetual student of geography. I need to make that point clear, and I can tell you more about it, because I lived, growing up, I lived right next to the volcano in the easternmost part of the island, so I look up every day to the Super Hills.
She didn't intimidate you then?
Not at all, not in the least to this day, it hasn't. I found it fascinating, I still do, because to see how my island has grown in my lifetime, I'm like,
well, it's got bigger now.
Of course it has gotten bigger, because all of the eruptions that have taken place in the southwest and east of the island, pushing all that material out into the sea, creating new land. Now Montserrat has a different shape to how it was 22 years ago, going on 23. You see, and all that I find fascinating. This is not to say that I didn't observe how people were scared, because there were people around me who were scared. Those of us who came from the closest part of the volcano, the eastern part, an area known as Long Ground, we were not scared, because we're accustomed to the area. We bathed in what we call a hot river, which we now know as Mineral Spring. We weren't surprised that we never used to get sick, like have the flu and things like that. Now we know, because we were bathing in natural spring water without being aware of it. You see what I'm saying? And so, but then all around us, you had these scared people, not understanding what was happening, people converging in groups.
So was there like panic then because of that?
There was panic initially, but there was more panic June 25, 1997, when we had our first pyroclastic flow, our first eruption, when we had huge stream of gas, ash, rocks going up in the air, then heading down towards the sea. 19 people died because they were in places where they should not have been. That is when people panicked. That is when people just grabbed their suitcases and their travel documents. They took some money out of their savings onto the bank. They head to the airport.
And
got out of Montserrat. And they didn't know where they were going. They got as far as Antigua.
How did people know where to go though? When they were told, okay, you've got to leave. How do people relocate? How are families kept together? How does that make you feel?
In terms of the relocation process, this happened over a period. We have to make this very clear. After the volcano started erupting, coincidentally, Montserrat's volcano has always been monitored for years, because they say the seismic research unit at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad always monitored our volcano. Our volcano was number 8 on the list of potential volcanoes waiting to erupt. Nevis was number 6. Montserrat erupted. As you know, St. Vincent erupted in 1979, but only for a very short time. We were number 8. Montserrat erupted, and the volcano is still active in its sphere. All right? So all the time, the scientists started giving public information on the radio station, because everybody listens to the radio station, and on television initially until they relocated.
So that's probably why there wasn't a huge panic, because little by little,
and people absorbed the information, and still there were some who were reluctant to move because they said, oh, we're safe, oh, nothing's going to happen. The scientists in the meantime were saying, there may come a time when we will have to relocate. And the government and the officials and the governor had to be telling us that repeatedly until we got it into our subconscious and then into our conscious mind, so we can do what was necessary. In fact, we relocated very brief moments 3 times before the final relocation.
Really?
Yes, because in August of 1995, we had a phreatic eruption, which is an eruption of cold ash and steam, but people panicked. We called it black.
They thought it was the real thing.
They thought it was the real thing. We knew, because the scientists always told us the difference between a phreatic eruption and the other eruption that caused the pyroclastic flows, etc. We knew the difference. But some people don't absorb information, so you just sort of, you get it when it goes, by the way. But those of us who are interested and who are involved, we have to listen, because we have to make the plans. We have to tell the people what to do. We have to do the things ourselves, and we have to lead by example. You see? So that, in effect, is a short version of our volcanic experience. There's much more.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is that...
All right?
Thank you.
I hope that will do.
Thank you so much, Rose. That was, I mean, there's so much more, but it's just to have a little information about what actually happened.
Indeed,
so thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to share our story with you and for the rest of the world, in fact.
Thanks, Rose.